Hey everybody, welcome to the 13th episode of the Stellaris mod Spotlight series. Apologies for not releasing a mod video last week. I ended up getting a bit sick and had to skip doing much video content at all. However, I did create a list of my top 5 feature requests for Stellaris. Please go check it out when you can. You can click on it right now. It should be up on the screen. It'll open in a new browser so it doesn't interrupt you watching this video. I'd love to get your feedback on it and hear what your top 5 wishlist items are. Maybe it includes some features from a mod or two that you've seen on this Spotlight series. Maybe. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear from you. And with that out of the way, let's take a look at some awesome Stellaris mods. Boop. First mod of the week aims to make consolidating your navy nice and easy by adding rally points to the game for newly built ships. This is Planetary Rally Points by Zednasius. Before I get started talking about this mod, note that rally points are coming in the next Stellaris patch, 1.3, the Highland patch. However, I feel there's no reason why you can't download this mod and play with rally points now, instead of having to wait a few weeks for that update. Okay, to set up a rally point, select the planet, open the edicts list, and find the Designate as Staging Area edict. There are 3 of these edicts, Alpha, Beta, and Gamma, so you can set rally points on 3 different planets. To assign newly built ships to these rally points, go to the planet you want to build ships on and add the edict assigned to Staging Area. Again, there are 3, Alpha, Beta, and Gamma. Unlike normal edicts, edicts from this mod are actually modifiers to the planet itself, so to disable a rally point, open the edicts list and select Dismantle Staging Areas. The mod creator has added an option to toggle off all the rally point edicts, especially useful if you want to clean up your edicts list if you don't plan on using rally points for a specific planet. Because these edicts add and remove planetary modifiers, this mod doesn't work very well when the game is paused. It actually needs time to add and to remove the edicts. So heavily messing with the rally points can break your setup. Make sure the game is running at least the slowest pace when adding or removing rally points with this mod. It's important to note that ships set to rally at specific planets are not automatically added to fleets when they arrive. So at some point you have to manually add them to a single fleet. The ships do automatically enter orbit of the rallying planet, so you do get the 25% maintenance bonus, which kinda means you can forget about all the ships that you assign to a rally point until you're ready to use them. I do expect that the official rally point feature from Paradox will handle this problem a bit more elegantly, but for now, I find this mod to be extremely useful and a must-have for any empire that wants to focus on combat and very large fleets. Second mod for this week explores the final frontier of modding. Oh god. These are the voyages of 8 mod contributors. Not like this. Their continuing mission to explore strange new mod possibilities. Please don't do this. To seek out new life and new civilizations in Stellaris. Why? To boldly go where no mod team has gone before. I'm so sorry. This mod, called Star Trek New Horizons, is by G-Man, and is actually a collaborative effort from 8 different mod contributors. Their goal is to recreate the canonical universe and deliver the best Star Trek game experience in the last 10 years. The mod isn't finished yet, it's still in alpha, but there's already a lot to the total conversion that's worth looking at. First up, when starting a new game, you have a bunch of new empires to choose from. There's 38 pre-scripted Star Trek races that are canonical, meaning at some point they've appeared on a Star Trek TV or movie show. The classics are all there, like the Federation, the Klingons, the Romulans, the Ferengi, the Cardassian, and the Vulcan. You've also got a bunch of other options, like the Gorn, from this iconic Star Trek scene. Well, we know they won't be very good at ground combat, I guess. There's a bunch of other species. A lot of them I honestly don't recognize, but I'm sure most of you Trekkians, you Trekkers, the Trekkites, I'm sure that you'll recognize them all. Since the mod is in an alpha state, building your own race doesn't actually work. It gets really buggy when selecting weapon types and refuses to go forward. However, when this does work, the species will have a bunch of phenotype and clothing options to choose from, pulled directly from the various shows and movies. There's also 8 new ship types, one for each main faction in the Star Trek universe. If you want to play with this mod, for now, you're going to have to pick one of the pre-scripted races here on the left. But that's what you're here for anyway, right? Once you've picked an empire, you can load into a custom-built, accurate recreation of the Star Trek galaxy, complete with Alpha, Beta, Gamma, and Delta quadrants. Each empire will begin in its canonical location, too. Notice I'm saying the word canonical a lot here. These guys have really focused on all the details to make the universe as accurate as possible. Most of the weapon technologies have been replaced by weapons you'd find in Star Trek, like photon torpedoes and phasers. There are a lot of special events and anomalies added by this mod, however those are kind of hard to show you as they do appear at random, but know that they're in there and a lot more are planned. There's also an endgame crisis that appears in the Delta Quadrant, but there's no point in talking about that because, after all, resistance is futile. I don't think I can say much more about this mod, other than if you're a Trekkie, or even if you're not, you owe it to yourself to play this mod. Considering how much is already here, and how much the mod is expected to improve over time, Star Trek New Horizons is probably the best total conversion mod available for Stellaris right now. With the recent release of the Planetary DLC, I figured it would be a good time to cover this mod to remind people out there that there's plenty of amazing portraits for people like me, gamers on a budget. This is Extended Species 84 Portraits by Thurzaspinger. This mod adds a bunch of new portraits to the appearance selection when building a new empire. Each of these existing selections have new species to select from. There's new mammals, reptiles, avians, arthropods, molluscoids, and fungoids. There's also 3 completely new groupings of species called sentient plants, Neudomusculi, and Neurocotoids. A lot of the additions from this mod are really bizarre, and some of them even push the boundary of what I would consider to be living things. I mean, look at this sponge thingy. Or this fish bird guy. There's a lot of really unique species here. Some of the species include multiple phenotypes, so your surface tiles and leaders can look a little bit varied. Unfortunately, many of these portraits are not animated. That's something that the mod author wants to add, but I consider this to be a minor flaw, as most of the time, you're not really looking at your species anyway. One of the best parts about this mod is that it adds variety when you generate a new galaxy, as each one of these 84 portraits can be used to seed a new AI empire. So the aliens you encounter as you play will feel a lot more alien. Last mod for this week is by a veteran of the series. We've featured work from Kane a few times now, and today we've got another addition to the Improved Space Battles mod collection. This is Improved Space Battles Living Systems. This mod adds uncontrollable civilian life to each one of your systems that builds up over time to establish a thriving, visually interesting system. Here's how it works. After you colonize a system, over time more and more civilian ships will spawn. These ships have AI that cause them to move about the system, usually from planet to planet or to different asteroids. The composition of these civilian fleets are randomized, making each caravan look a little unique. Over time, the number of civilian fleets grow, and they even begin to advertise their businesses using permanent billboards. As your empire continues to grow, these civilian ships will become bolder, eventually leaving their home system to travel to other systems within your empire. I gotta say, this looks really cool. As you can imagine, with dozens of extra ships in every system, performance of the game could begin to suffer as your empire grows large. Thankfully, Kane has added several empire policies that allow you to customize how many ships you see and where you see them. This mod has no gameplay functionality, it is purely visual, but what it does really well. Now, in my opinion, this mod is both really good and kinda bad. I love the life that it adds to your own systems. There's so much movement, it really feels like a living ecosystem. The game looks especially good when you turn the interface off. It looks so good, in fact, that I bet you've not been listening to me because you're distracted by watching the screen. The bad news is, when the interface is turned on, the whole screen is covered by bars that make it kinda hard to see anything. Hopefully in the future, Ann Kane can figure out how to turn off those bars for civilian fleets and make them unselectable so that we can get the best of both worlds with this mod. And we're done! Another week, another round of Stellaris mods. I hope you all had as much fun watching it as I did making it. If you did, please consider hitting that thumbs up button down on the bottom right, and if you want to see videos like this each week, hit the subscribe button on the bottom left. As always, you can find the links to each mod I covered in the description of the video, so check them out and download the ones that you really like. Stay tuned to this channel for more Stellaris mods, patch previews, and gameplay videos. Thanks for being awesome, and thank you guys so much for joining me. I'll see you next time.